Hi everyone, welcome back to Microbiogenics. Today the topic of my discussion is competitive ELISA. By this technique, antigen present in a sample is detected. So, this competitive ELISA technique is divided into two phases. In the phase 1, the sample containing the antigen is incubated with antibody containing solution. So, antibody containing solution is mixed with sample that contains the antigen. So, what will happen? When the sample containing antigen is mixed with antibodies that is specific for the antigen, what will happen? Antigen antibody complexes will be formed. So there are two possibilities. What can happen? The first possibility is that antibody antigen complexes will be formed. That means immune complexes will be formed. Immune complexes will be formed. If the concentration of sample is less than the concentration of antibodies, what will happen? Free antibodies will be present because the concentration of sample is higher. Suppose there are 10 antibodies and 5 antigens. So 5 antigens will bind with 5 antibodies to produce 5 immune complexes. So rest 5 of the antibodies will remain free. So this is the case. Antibody antigen complex will form and also free antibodies will be present. So this is the thing that happens in the phase 1 of competitive ELISA. Now moving into the second phase. In the second phase, this solution that is formed by mixing the antibody with the sample, this solution is now poured in a microtiter plate that is coated with antigen. So this solution is poured in a microtiter plate that is coated with antigen. So the microtiter plate already contains antigen in it, antigen on the surface of the microtiter plate, and this solution is now added in the microtiter plate. So this is now the reaction will happen in this phase 2. So let's look into the phase 2. So this is a microtiter plate that contains antigen. This is a microtiter plate and these are the antigens. So as I said that in the first phase, there are two possibilities. One is antigen antibody complexes will be formed and free antibodies will be present. So these free antibodies will be able to bind with these antigens. So these antibodies will bind with the antigen. Only the free antibodies can bind with this antigen. So well and good, free antibodies are bound with the antigen and the rest of the solution that contains the immune complex will be washed away in the washing step. So only these free antibodies, which is now called as the primary antibody, will remain bound to the antigen. Now secondary antibody is added. So secondary antibody contains enzyme linked with it. Enzyme linked secondary antibody. So this secondary antibody is added. This secondary antibody is added in the microtiter plate and secondary antibody will bind like this. Secondary antibodies will bind with the Fc part of the primary antibody like this. Now in the next step, substrate for the enzyme is added. As I said that secondary antibody is linked with enzyme. So in the next step, substrate is added and this substrate is a chromogenic substrate. Chromogenic substrate means this substrate when reacts with the enzyme will form a colored product. So substrate is added. Then what will happen? Enzyme will react with the substrate and will produce a product. Product will be formed and this product is a colored product. So color will be generated. Color will be produced in the microtiter plate. In the wells where the reaction has occurred, color will be generated that can be visualized by naked eye, and this color can be, the intensity of the color can be detected by spectrophotometry. So this color, the intensity of the color is measured. So now what will the color signify? What is the significance of the color? What is the significance of the intensity of the color? This is the point. This is how the antigen concentration will be detected. So what will be the significance? Let's look into that. chart. Here I have taken 3 cases. In the first case, the number of antigen is 5, number of antibodies is 10. So when these two solutions will react, then 5 immune complexes will be formed because there are 10 antibodies and 5 antigens. So 5 antibodies will bind with the 5 antigens to form the immune complex, and the number of free antibodies that remain unreacted will be 5. So 5 antibodies will remain free. In the second case, there are 8 antigens. Antibody number is 10. So 2 free antibodies will be available here. So 2 free antibodies will be formed here. And in the last case, there are 10 antigens, 10 antibodies. So what will happen in this case? 10 antigens will react with 10 antibodies and 10 immune complexes will be formed. So there will be no free antibodies available in this case. So number of free antibodies will be 0. So what will be the difference in the color intensity in the 3 cases? In the first case, 5 free antibodies will be there. So these 5 free antibodies will be able to bind to the antigen present in the microtiter plate, and the rest of the reaction will occur and color will be produced. In the second case, 2 antibodies are available, and in the last case, there are no antibodies. There are no free antibodies at all. So there will be no free antibodies available to bind to the antigen present in the microtiter plate. So in the third case, no antibodies will bind to the microtiter plate. So if no antibodies, no primary antibodies are bound to the microtiter plate, what will happen? The secondary antibodies will not bind to the microtiter plate. So the rest of the reaction will not occur because secondary antibody cannot bind to the primary antibody first of all, and as a result it cannot react with the substrate, because secondary antibody can only react with the substrate when it is bound to the primary antibody. This is a condition. So if primary antibody is not available, then secondary antibody cannot react with the substrate and no color will be produced. So there will be no color. Among the 3 cases, the color intensity will be highest in this case. The number of free antibodies present in the second case is 2. So only 2 antibodies will be bound to the antigen present in the microtiter plate, and the signal of color will be less than this case, less than the first case. So this will be among the 3 cases, the color intensity will be highest in the first case, moderate in the second case, and there will be no color intensity at all in the last case. So it is clear that when the concentration of antigen in the sample is higher, then the color intensity becomes lower. This is the principle of detection. If the antigen content in the sample is high, then the color intensity will be low. And if the antigen concentration is low in the sample, then the color intensity will be high. So this is the principle of detection of competitive ELISA method. Now why is the name of the technique competitive ELISA? Where is the competition? So we can see that this method is divided into 2 phases. In the first phase, what happened? Antibody was mixed with antigen containing sample, and in the second phase, the antigen antibody mixture was poured in the microtiter plate which contained antigen. In the first case, if more of the antigens bind to this antibody, then less free antibodies will be available. Hence, less free antibodies will be able to bind to this antigen. So here is the competition. The competition is between this antigen and this antigen. So if the antigen present in the sample binds more with the antibody, then less antibody will be available to bind to the antigen in the microtiter plate. So this is the reason why the name of the technique is competitive ELISA.